Today we are going to be solving percent problems. This is lesson 5.6 and is on page 226 of your textbook. Today's purpose is going to be to find the percent of any given number. So if we want to find the percent of the number, there's a couple of steps or a couple of ways we can go about doing this. First, we can write the percent as a fraction. Then multiply it by the whole, and the percent times the whole is going to equal the part. Okay, here's what I mean by this. Okay, if I have 20% of 60, the first thing we have to do is write the percent as a fraction, and that's going to be 1/5. And then we multiply it by the whole, which is 60. Now I know that in order to complete this problem, I need to turn 60 into a fraction and then just multiply it. 1 times 60 is 60, 5 times 1 is 5, and then 60 divided by 5 gives me the answer of 12. Now, I want to show you how you can solve this another way. We can also use a model. Right here I have an example of a double number line. Okay, on the top I have the percents, and on the bottom I have the corresponding numbers. Okay, we know that the whole is always going to be 100%. And in this case, we know that the original number we're starting with is 60. So 100% in this case is equal to 60. I want to find what 20% is. So if I take 100 and divide it by 20, I'm going to get 5 equal parts. So that means I need to take 60 and divide it by 5, and I know then that each of those parts will equal 12. So down at the bottom, I have the numbers written: 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, and the dotted lines connect that number to its corresponding percent. On the top, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 goes along with the numbers on the bottom. So this shows that 20% is equal to 12. Okay, now I'm going to even show you a third way that you could solve this same problem. We can use a ratio table. Now remember, we've talked multiple times that a ratio table or a percent is simply a part-to-whole ratio. So I can use a part-to-whole ratio table to solve it. Okay, let's fill in the information we know. And remember, I'm going back to my original problem, which is asking me what is 20% of 60. So across the top of my table, I want to include the parts. Across the bottom are the whole numbers. It honestly doesn't make any difference whether you put the percent column first or the number column, as long as the percents line up in a column and the numbers line up. So I'm going to start by putting in my 20%, and I know that the whole for percent is always 100. I want to know what 20% of 60 is. So 60 is also the whole, it is not the part. Now we've talked about how we can multiply both numbers or divide both numbers by another number to get an equivalent ratio. In this case, though, I cannot divide 100 by a number to get 60. So what I'm going to do is actually add another column to my ratio table. And what I can actually do now is take 100, and if I divide it by 10, 100 divided by 10 is 10. On the top, I need to do the same thing to my 20. 20 divided by 10 is 2. So I do know that 2 to 10 is an equivalent ratio of 20 to 100. Now I can go back and fill in my missing numbers. I now need to go how to get from 10 to 60. I know 10 times 6 is 60. So I'm going to do the same thing with the 2. 2 times 6 is 12. So my I do now know what 20% of 60 is, and the answer is 12.